There is only one question that matters. Do you swear on your life that what you say is true?
Hey guys, and welcome back to Fortune Theory. So today I'm going to be talking about The Last Duel, which is one of the two Ridley Scott films that have come out recently, as well as House of Gucci, which is the sort of Lady Gaga, Adam Driver film as well. He's also in this, and he is one of the main two characters in this film, as well as Matt Damon, Jodie Comer, Ben Affleck, a couple of other people who I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But this story is a true story based on Jodie Comer's character, who is Margaret de Carrouges. I'm going to butcher these names. Her sort of diary, almost, but from obviously different perspectives of getting deep people's opinions, because it's a very sensitive and very, very serious subject. Basically, the last duel to end the debate, basically, of whether or not Margaret de Rouge was raped by Adam Driver's character, Jacques Le Gris. And again, these names are probably being pronounced terribly, so I apologise for that. But the duel is held between Jacques Le Gris, who is played by Adam Driver, and Matt Damon's character, Sir Jean de Carrouges, and they basically fight to the death to see whether God's will reveal the truth, or whether that Jodie Comer's character, Margaret de Carrouges, is lying or telling the truth. Overall, being a Ridley Scott film, I think with a lot of directors on like sort of Ridley Scott level, you know, they're all big Hollywood directors, so you might want to just see their film regardless of what you think of it or how it comes across, whether you think the trailer's good or not, or whether you just think the overall like synopsis of the film is good. I think it's one of those films that if you are generally a sort of medieval story fan, whether it's based on a true story or not, it's pretty good. You might like it. If you like this type of like historical retelling, it's nothing like... there's a film I really liked, Outlaw King, which is a Chris Pine medieval story about a Scottish king. That was an amazing film. It's on Netflix as well, if I remember to, link below. Films like that I do really love. I do love really amazingly well, films that are told amazingly well, and, well, doesn't everyone, but medieval retellings and sort of any historical like period piece, whether it's drama. It's normally drama, romance, a bit of action as well, sometimes adventure, but it's normally just action drama with a bit of romance in it in historical like period pieces. But this film, I do think, suffered in some areas, and I do kind of agree with what critics have said and just general audiences around the world think about it. Obviously, this is just quote from Ridley Scott. I think millennials need to get off their phones and enjoy proper cinema. I just can't remember the exact quote. I know he said like millennials get off their phones quote, but I do think that it's one of those films that it's for a small audience of people that, in my mind, it's a very weird way of saying it's for a small audience of people that actually like the film. I do think there are people that will like the film. I think maybe people that generally like medieval stories, you'll probably appreciate the story and think it's a good film. I think, being a Ridley Scott film, I expected more, considering, you know, he should be good at a period piece, something, especially a true story. I mean, this is the man that made Gladiator. Fair enough, I personally don't think he's in his prime anymore of storytelling and just directing a narrative piece, because Gladiator is one of the best films he's ever made. I think it's probably his best film in my opinion, and I think coming from that being his resume, I think that this isn't comparable to that in any way, because just because it's a period piece doesn't mean it's going to be exactly the same. Obviously, it's a completely different story altogether, but having that type of resume, I think that this could have been a lot better. Second half, actually, I will give it justice. The second half of the film, middle to end of Act 2, and then up until about the beginning to middle of Act 3, I did like. I thought, okay, well, this suddenly got a bit good. Some of my little pet peeves about it was that I felt it was a bit slapdash editing at times. We were jumping around a lot. Obviously, there was a point for that, but there was a lot of going back to the same moment, obviously to explore the different characters' perspectives and opinions and sort of their thought, visualizing and seeing their thought, hopefully what is their possible thought process during that event and that time, which made sense. But I just think that the way of the editing style for that could have been better. It could have evolved more. So we obviously see some of the more serious and darker moments of the event of the entire film, not the duel taking place. I think that, there's just mainly a lot of scenes we didn't need to see again, or maybe see in a more of a flashback or flash to the same time form, because the main intercutting was Adam Driver's Jacques Le Gris character, his perspective, along with Ben Affleck's character, who is Pierre D'Alencon. That name's probably pronounced badly, but Ben Affleck and Adam Driver's characters, sort of their story and perspective was being told at a completely different time in the film to Matt Damon and Jodie Comer's characters, because it was following Jodie Comer for basically the entire film. Matt Damon and Jodie Comer, as soon as the accusation unfolded and it came to fruition, my life just got a bit brighter. She immediately started going into the perspective of Adam Driver and Ben Affleck's characters, which is fine. It's good to see the other perspective, but we were going to random characters, I feel, for the wrong moments, and we were seeing a lot. We saw the same moment, for instance, where Jacques Le Gris, played by Adam Driver, was meeting Margaret de Carrouges, Jodie Comer's character, for the first time after Matt Damon and Adam Driver's characters sort of coming back together after a disagreement, and they're wanting to sort of settle things after a long time. It's been over a year, and we want to be on good ground again as much as possible. And then the first time they meet, we end up seeing this moment again more than 3 times. I think it was 3 times for the rest of the film, and almost the exact same shot. And there were moments where I just felt like, why am I seeing this moment? We've literally seen this exact shot again. It's not showing any different thing. And I know you can go back to a scene, flash forward or back, dependent, to re-invoke an emotion or to see it now knowing new information. Again, that's the whole point of a piece of narrative. You see something again with new information can be really important. It didn't work, at least in my opinion. And there were times when the moment worked, but this is another reason as to why I think the film could have easily been about 20 minutes shorter, is because there was a lot of, in my opinion, although I think some people will agree with me that have watched this, unnecessary cutting back and forth, like I've mentioned, and it interrupted the general flow. The film could have been probably about 2 hours long, exactly, instead of 2 hours 20, and it would have told the exact same story, said the exact same message, but we didn't need the extremity of seeing the exact same scenes, the exact same length, basically the exact same take. It wasn't overly repetitive, but it was just a little bit slow and laggy at times, but it just didn't quite fit. It wasn't a terrible film. It was on the borderline between okay and meh. But it's certainly, it's for me, it's hard for a film to be terrible. It's just sort of okay, borderline okay. But yeah, overall, just my main pet peeve was the editing, and just this overall going back with a new perspective of something. Again, the intercutting and cross-cutting between different perspectives and going back and forward in time, or to the same event from another perspective, would have worked if it was shot differently and not just using, I feel like they just had the same footage or had just another take to use. Whereas, if you're cutting to the first time Jodie Comer meets Adam Driver's character again, it's make it feel different and give the new sense of perspective from a new perspective, it's the way flashbacks work, instead of just what feels like it's literally the exact same shot as we had before. But yeah, that's about it. If you have watched the film, I would hope you can enjoy it. If you did, let me know what you think below. And yeah, I will probably be watching House of Gucci if I get around to it. If it's online, I'll probably definitely watch it. But yeah, overall, that's about as much as I can think of to talk about for The Last Duel. It's an alright film. If you're a fan of medieval films, I would recommend it. But definitely watch it. Just because I think a film is bad doesn't mean to say it is bad. Yeah, that's been The Last Duel, link below, and to its IMDb at least anyway in the trailer. And yeah, we'll see you next Wednesday for Hawkeye, and whatever we do next Friday. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.